Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Wednesday, June 26, 2013. We're going to be looking at Expeditors International of Washington today, and this is EXPD. Let me get out the tools here. There's a lot on this chart. Here's a ticker symbol if you're looking for that. Whenever I look at this chart, there's just a great deal of information, but it's all telling the same basic overall story. So let's look at it. First, we have this factor right here. This is the death cross, where the 50-period moving average, this red line, crosses down below this green line here, below the 200-period moving. That is a bearish signal, bearish condition. You're looking at that. Even though you've had this move to the upside here, a couple things to note about it. The massive move that you've had up here is actually a situation where you have a massive gap below you, and those typically get filled in short order when the gap is really large like that. We have a close down here, and then the next day you just opened up here. You didn't come back and fill it. You just stayed up here and continued to rally. That's temporary before you reverse to the other direction. What you'd be looking for is what you got, and that's that shooting star right there. The main thing here, whenever you look at the current situation, don't look too far back on the chart for what to do now, and other than the fact that you are in this trend right here. We can see then a downtrend, so what I want to do is work with that trend, and that's most current environment. With this gap below us here, that makes a lot of sense. We're looking for this bounce here to be short-lived, just a dead cat bounce, and we turn around, we go lower here, and we come back and actually fill that scenario we talked about. So that's the trade that I see right there that we'll be looking at. And like I said, everything already tells you that that's what should be happening. The fact that you've got this bearish condition here, the fact that you've got this sell signal here, this one here, this one here, this one here is actually a combination of these two candlestick formations together. Let me show you that real quick. You can see that you have its bearish engulfing signal, where this candlestick was actually engulfed the following day by the bearish one. That's a sell signal as well. Then you come down here, you'll notice there's no hammer candlestick formation on the low. That tells you this is not a true bottom. Same thing happened here. There was a bounce off at this point, but there's no hammer, so it's not a true bottom. And you bounce up here, and what do you find? A sell signal right here, like we've seen over here, like we've seen over here. This makes sense because you have actually broken your support line. Let me draw that out too. This is your little support that you had going on. So when you broke through that here, then you're bounced back to that level. What was acting as support here, 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 maybe not so much there. And then again, when you come up here and test it, you should find resistance, and that's what you're seeing right there. That's why that makes sense. Also, when you're in a bearish market condition, typically what happens once you close below the 50 period, like you did here, then the 50 period moving average stops acting as support like it was doing here and like it was doing here, and it starts acting as resistance, which is doing right here. So that all makes sense. I don't see any reason to be bullish this chart. Look at that gap fill. There is lots of things that traders could do with this. You could be shorting the stock. You could be buying puts to bet against it. You could do a lot of different things, and you could set your stops in various different places. The way I would do it was set my stop right here, and because any activity in here would just be still this continuation here, and you could see a little push higher because you do have this gap here that could fill as well. So there's a little bit of stuff that can happen there on the upside, but I wouldn't be trusting it if I were bullish. This would not be the chart I'd be looking to buy, not at this point. At least wait for a pullback and fill this gap here. All right, let me clean that up. Let's see what else we could find here on this chart that tells us the same thing. If you look at the ultimate oscillator, or you probably can check it out on any the thing that's going to be analyzing momentum. You can see the ultimate oscillator. Here's what I'm using: the high point here, lower high here, lower high here. So you have this downtrend in momentum. At the same time period, you have the high close of price activity. You remember to use the close, and then you can see that the one followed, and then the one followed was an uptrend. But according to this, what we see between the ultimate oscillator and the price activity is a bearish divergence. So what we do is actually analyze that as saying that it's not going to be sustainable. It's going to end up collapsing, and that's exactly what we're seeing develop here. So that makes sense. It's actually confirming what we're analyzing here. And then if we actually scroll on down, get a little bit lower, we can see, if we look at the accumulation distribution line, we can see that we are actually taking out the lows here. We can see that the activity here, we're seeing a lot more sellers here than we were seeing before here or here. That would suggest again of the gap fill. So again, all that is telling you the exact same thing. Don't be bullish this chart. If you've not been to the free website at PerfectStockAlert.com, it's right there. It's 100% free, and this is the only place that you'll actually find the individual stock analysis. There will be on that website, because that's where I'll post it. I won't post it anywhere else. The nightly market analysis videos, they're all over the place, but you can find them on the website as well. Okay. God bless. Take care and enjoy the day. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.